Well, after a few days out of the train room, I'm back up here. Took a few days out, full of cold, sore throat, and the weather thought was going to be good, so I thought I'd just chill out, but obviously it chucked it down all week. Just can't shift this blocked up nose and this sore throat, but I'm bored. There's only so many videos and that you can watch, so I've come back up here now. I'm going to try and finish off these buildings and then start to get the layering down in the goods yard area. One little arrival this week, I don't know if you can see these, just some little 3-volt wall lights, so I'm thinking of putting a couple of these on the buildings as well, just to sort of enhance that and get them in place, get all the wires through the board. But predominantly, if I just come round over here, I'm going to be working now. The majority of the ballast is down, so I'm going to start getting all the coverings in, just around and about. I have ordered a Backscene, finally, just waiting for that to arrive to get it along the back. So we'll see how far we get this week. I know a few people have asked what I use to stick the paper and everything down when I'm making these buildings. Absolutely nothing fancy. I just use a really cheap glue stick, a fraction of the cost of like your Pritt sticks, but works just as well and always has done for me. So that's to stick the main areas. When I'm doing the windows and the roofs and that, I just use some PVA and a fine tip applicator, and then I spray everything with this. I've used various matte sealants. A lot I tend to find soak the paper too much and the colour bleeds, but this, what is it, Rust-Oleum? This seems to work quite well. It gives a good covering and I don't get any staining or marks on the paper. So that's pretty much it. That's how extensive my gluing and sealing collection is. Right, so while I work out exactly what finishes I'm going to do on here, I'm just starting to cover some of the areas with a bit of the old yard filth, just to try and get a bit of texture, and then I'm just sprinkling some of the soil out of the garden, so just to give it a bit of depth really. This won't be the finished article, but I just didn't want it to be really smooth and flat, so I'm kind of winging this because I'm really not sure what finishing I'm going to put on here. I think there'll be a lot of weeds in this, maybe some static grass, some bushes up the back just to disguise any joins, but I'm hoping this just might give it a little bit of depth. I might do quite a few areas like this, probably all in this area as well, and in between here I'm thinking about some mounds of earth, some mounds of ballast and other little bits of debris. So we'll, like I say, we'll wing it and see how it goes. Right, so we'll leave that to dry, then hoover off the excess. Got a bit of a gap I need to fill there because I'll lose quite a bit down there if not, so I'll stick a bit of filler in, then just continue this way. Probably not going to go any further than there because I need to decide whether I'm going to continue this wall a bit or whether I'm going to sort of make the wall come higher, ready for the factories in the back scene across there. But as I think I mentioned, I'm waiting for a Backscene to arrive just to see what it's like. So I've just started playing around with a few different scatters in these areas just to see what it's going to look like. I've used my usual array of the woodland scenic stuff, fine turfs, blended turfs and coarse turfs. So I'd started just to work on this area, realised then that I'd not even started to weather the track or anything, which would be really useful. So I've just switched from doing that. I've just started, I don't know if it comes well out of here, but just trying to weather some of the track itself, not the sleepers, but just the outside and inside rails. So whether it shows, I've done those 2 lines there, started on the double slip, probably just toned it down compared to the line at the back there. So I'll continue to do that and then start to look at the scenic areas. I've just been doing a bit of weathering on the track, now I've remembered. I've just been using the rail match. The sleeper grime, I just water down and brush it directly on with a knackered old brush. So they're the sleeper grime ones. I've done the same with a bit of roof dirt on this one. Still some more touching them. I think the edges of the rails still need a bit more on. But I think you can see the difference between these front lines and the rear ones that I haven't done. The ballasting I did yesterday, just in front of where those woodland scenic tubs are, hasn't quite dried. Still a bit damp, so I can't do too much there. So I'll just try and get as much track weathered as I can. I'm just thinking for the buildings over there, and then the ones that are going to come here as well, I think I'm going to just cut a template of the base out of the 3mm PVC board I've got to the exact size, put it down in place temporarily with some double-sided tape, and I'm going to do the scenics up to it, and then once it's all dried I'll lift those boards out and then slide the buildings into place, and any touching up can be done then. Again, I'm just conscious they've all been sprayed with lacquer matte to protect them, but if I just start doing loads of scenic work and PVA water solution, I'm worried it might just soak up into the buildings, so I'd rather take them off first. That's looking down the goods yard from the other end, just trying to work out the positions for those two factories on the right hand side now. The basic weathering of the track itself's been done. I'll just let that dry. I really would like the Backscene to arrive. I was hoping it'd be here today, just so I can get that in place before I start trying to do all the ballast up against that, not ballast, the landscaping up against that back wall. I think it might be easier with it in place. So the goods shed pretty much where I want it to be. As I say, it's just those two factories over there. I'm still undecided where maybe to put those, but it's starting to take a bit more shape now. Just been attempting a bit of static grass in some of these areas at the back where it's not going to be trodden, so I thought it'd be a bit of bigger growth there. Ideally, I want to be working from the back forward because I know I'm going to be leaning over, I'm going to catch all this, but still waiting for this Backscene, and I do want to get that on first, so I might have to look for something else to do. I just know I will catch this front edge if I continue working there. Well, I guess it doesn't look too bad. There's some 4mm medium and light green, and I've just done some little patches of 7mm on there towards the end. I suppose I could mark out for where these buildings are going to go. Now I've cut some templates for the base. And amongst everything else, I have just been putting this little signal box together, painting it up. It's pretty much finished now. There's just a bit of weathering to do on the roof and the ladders to put on the steps, but I'm going to leave the steps because I just know I'll knock them off for now. So when it's in place, I'll finally get them on. I did put my own roof tiles on there because I think I mentioned earlier I didn't like the finish that was on the MDF that came. A little bit of interior in there and a light, as you can see, just to highlight a few bits. So I think that'll look okay on this side, looking over those double slips and points. Well, the wife just kindly popped up to bring me a cup of coffee, but she's just took one look at the state of the room and can't believe what a mess it is. I didn't think it was that bad actually, but as you can see, it's probably getting a little bit out of hand. There's no workspace left. I've got bits everywhere now, all over the floor. So seeing as I'm waiting on this Backscene, I might just spend a couple of hours, hopefully that's enough, just to get everything tidied up. If I'd have got my finger out and got some shelving up here, I'd have been able to put a lot of my gear on there. It'd have made it a lot easier, but as usual, I moved on to something else. So she's probably right. It probably does need a tidy up, so I might just spend a bit of time doing this. Unless, of course, the back scene arrives anytime soon, then I will get on with that. So I started to do a bit of tidying up, or moving things around, should I say, cleared a bit of space, and then the back scene turned up. And this is it. I'll just lay it out. There we go. It's really not what I expected. It's not, I don't think it's going to work. So I'm a bit stumped really. As you can see, the existing backdrop buildings are way higher, and so are the low relief ones over there. And on its own, it's not high enough to, if I cut out just the buildings, it's not high enough to clear the trees, because I don't like that blue. It looks really false. So I don't know what I expected, but it wasn't this. But you don't know till you order them and get them, just to see the height. So back to the drawing board really, but I don't want it to hold me up, so I'm probably going to have to go ahead and start doing the rest over there without the back scene, which is a bit of a shame. I didn't know whether, one thought, those back scenes I already got are from ID back scenes, and you can get some that are just plain cloud. So part of me is thinking, I don't know whether just to get one of those, put it on there, at least I know it won't be perfect join the clouds in the sky, but it's a better colour match, I would have thought, than what I've got. Then whether I could just carefully cut these out, cut the sky off and put them on the back there. I don't know really. I'm a bit of a loss, if I'm honest. Part of me is thinking, do I just get a plain sky one and put it there, and then use this, what I'd already got as the scenic break, but then everything, those three low relief factories just got sky behind them? Or do I buy another set of these? I know it's duplicated. I mean, I use 3 there. There is one more I'm just playing around with, here. So maybe just get 4 more, mix them up, and some of them will be disguised behind them buildings, but I just wonder, they might look better, and I ain't got to take that back scene off. So while I just contemplate this dilemma around these damn back scenes, I just thought I'd try and work out where I'm going to put these 2 warehouses. Obviously they're very similar, same style, same windows, colouring and everything. So I thought about having them separate like this. But the more I look at it, what I think I'm going to try and do is put them together, something like that. So we've got doors, keep that door uncovered on that one, somewhere in that area, and then this can be like a big workshop yard. I think probably just look a little bit better together actually, because they are matching. So probably I'm going to do something like that in that area. And then maybe I'm going to do a brick wall in this same brick, just to cordon it off so it's like a proper yard, and put some gates on it as well. Well, you know, sometimes you wish you hadn't done something. I thought I'd have a go at fitting one of these wall lights. I mean, they're as cheap as chips. I think £8 for 10 of them. So I thought I'd have a go at fitting one over this door here. They said a HOOO scale, but they look a bit big to me. But anyway, I thought I'd have a go. The quality's not great. They're nothing like the show on the photo, but I can't be bothered for £8 to question it. But I don't know if it's just like they've been drilled through a screw, so you've got the cross edge showing at this bottom bit here. Anyway, that's just one of the problems. So what I thought I'd do was I use my little hand pin vise to drill through, then the wires go down because the floor's open on this. However, when I drilled through there, I drilled right where the floor is. So it was right in it, I couldn't get the wires through. So what I had to do is get a big drill bit and drill up to create a hole. Don't know if you can see the hole up there, but as the drill went through, it caught onto this window and ripped all the acetate off the back. So I've got no acetate on that. I've got no way of getting some more in, so I don't know what to do with that. I don't know whether to do a blank and put it in as if it's a window that's been boarded up or bricked up like they used to do, because it doesn't look quite right with no acetate behind it. So I thought a little quick job has turned into a bit of a nightmare. I don't particularly like the light as well, but it is what it is. Should have been quite simple that, but I've made it very difficult. So I'm just trying to do a repair job on this building that I managed to mess up. I've taken that light out, I really didn't like it. I've managed to cut a little square out, I don't know if you can see that, and then slide a new piece of acetate up. So I'll be able to spray that now and hopefully you'll not notice the difference. With regard to the light that I've taken out, I can just find it. That is the light. It just looks so crude the way it's put into that screw, but what I have been able to do is actually you can pull, if I just grab this other one here, sorry about this, you can actually pull it out of the screw housing. I don't know if that's come up very clear. So then I'll fill that hole, let it harden, and then I'll drill another smaller one for that and just thread it through. Looks a bit delicate and probably a bit more in scale if it's closer to the building. So I'll give it a go, see what happens. I've got some coffee stirrers on there now. I've just scored them to make it look like they're individual planks or sleepers. They're roughly 6 foot scale length each one. So I think I'm going to try it with a coat of rail match, just sleeper grime first, just to get some colour on. I've just dragged a paper towel across that just to wipe some of it away to try and get a worn wooden look, which probably won't come out too bad. I mean, what I would say is you're not really going to see a lot of this because it's going to be backwards way on facing the wall, but there might be a few shots where it does come through, so hopefully that's kind of the effect that I'm trying to achieve. Well, although I couldn't get a little internal light in this little office because it was a sealed unit, I did just drill up through the bottom to have a look what it was like inside, and there's no way I could get a brush in there to black it all out to stop any light bleed. But what I have been able to manage to do is just to get a little one of these wall lights put in, again taking it out of its screw mounting, tiny hole through, then the wires have come out this hole at the bottom, so at least there's a bit of light in that end of the goods shed. So that's probably it for this week. I guess I'm going to have to just sneakily get on the old internet, eBay maybe, see if I can order another Backscene like them others, those buildings. Hopefully they'll arrive quick, and we should do some more work on this area.